Hey guys, for today's video, we're going to be doing a partial balayage on some naturally dark hair to brighten her up. And I actually tried a new sectioning pattern and I really enjoyed it. So keep watching to see how I created this look. If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at Christy@thecottage. Here's my client's hair. You can see that she has really dark, long, natural hair. Today we're going to be chopping it and brightening it up. Because she does want to be brighter, I am going to be doing her front first just to make sure that this has more time to process and to lighten up a little bit more. And she does want to go all over blonde eventually, but I told her because this is my first time doing her hair and I don't really know how her hair is gonna lift because she does have a little bit of a dark color on her hair too that was like 2 years ago. I told her I'd rather start with a little bit of a balayage and see how her hair lightens up versus doing a full balayage and potentially having a lot of unwanted warm tones and then being unhappy with her hair. So for now, we're just going to start with a partial and go from here. I've already sectioned her hair, but the parting that I was talking about in the beginning, so I watched a video, it was like a Kenra Professional video on YouTube, I think, and she was saying, I believe it was low wheeler, and she did a diagonal section back, and instead of doing horizontal balayage sections up the side of the head, which is what I normally do, she was doing diagonal sections, and she said that helps cover a lot of ground versus doing horizontal sections. It takes quite a bit longer. So I thought today I'd try it out and I was actually really happy with the results. I felt like I got it done a lot faster. I covered a lot more ground. So if you haven't tried it, I think you should. And if you have tried it, let me know how you like it. Because I want to preserve some dimension in her hair because she is so dark naturally and we're only doing a partial, but I do want to keep her a little bit brighter towards the front of the face and make sure she feels like she has enough brightness. I'm kind of staggering my balayage. So in some areas, I'm going a little bit closer up to the root, like that one right along the temple. And this next section directly down, I'm weaving and I'm dropping her balayage a little bit more towards the ends. So that way she's gonna have a nice melt and a nice flow of brightness that's a little bit more solid through the ends, but a little bit more dimension up towards the top. And so I'm just mimicking that on the other side now. I gotta tell you, I was really happy with this whole sectioning, this diagonal sections, not doing horizontal partings for the balayage. I really felt like I went so much faster than normal. So I definitely think that this is something that I'm going to implement a lot more with my balayage, is kind of doing diagonal sections back from the center part behind the ear. And I think this is how I'm going to start my balayage off more now, and just kind of knock it out a lot faster than I normally would. I feel like sometimes it takes me about an hour to do the sides of the head before I even get to the back. And I felt like I got this done in probably like 30 to 45 minutes. So it definitely was a huge time saver, which is big in our industry. Once I reached the like back sides a little bit more, and like the very back area, I only did 2 panels below the part, and then 2 panels right in the very back. And then once I got to the very ends, I just kind of picked 2 areas where I felt like we needed to add a little bit more brightness through the ends and did those areas. But I really didn't feel like we needed to do a whole bunch because the front was so done nicely with a lot of extra brightness, and she wanted a lot of dimension. The picture that she had shown me that she wanted had a lot of dimension and some really bright pops of blonde. So I didn't want to overdo it and do it too blended. I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit more high contrast balayage pieces. So that's why I did my panels this way. Another thing is that she doesn't really have any layers in her hair, so I don't feel like I have to go inside the hair too much to get a lot of color. I feel like we always feel the need to really go deep inside the hair and do all this work and stuff, but if somebody has one length hair, all that hair is just going to lay right on top of each other, so you don't really have to do a whole bunch of work to get high impact. So keep that in mind. If somebody has a lot of layering, then you might have to do a little bit more, but if somebody just has one length all the way around, don't overwork yourself and overdo it, because then the end result might be that they're too much blonde versus having more dimension, if that's the look that they're going for. Okay, and this is all the panels that we put in for her partial balayage, and this probably took roughly like maybe an hour and a half max to get all of this in. Okay, so my client just got done processing. We just washed her out and she's sitting at the shampoo bowl with some Fanola No Yellow shampoo. I'm gonna use that as like a pre-toner that really helps to cancel out as much warmth as possible. She did process pretty fast in the front. She's pretty blonde in that area, but then she does have a lot of warmth kind of through the ends. And I think that's because she's colored her hair within the last 2 years. So I think in the front area that's probably grown out, and then the ends and the back is still kind of holding on to that color and trying to break through. So I gave her the option if she would like to tone for the brightest blonde, tone to minimize as much warmth as possible, but then it would tone down the blonde, or we could do 2 separate toners, and she decided to tone for the brightest blonde. So right now we're going to mix for that. Here's the end result for her hair. We were really happy with how bright we were able to get it and kind of the dimensional tones that she has. You guys, if you haven't tried Schwarzkopf Blonde Me, it's amazing lightener. It does great work. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.